Oh my god, what's happening, people? It's your girl Mina. Welcome back to my channel. You already know what it is. First and foremost, big up to everyone. Hope you're having a wonderful Saturday, or I hope you were having a wonderful Saturday before you had to watch that game. Big up to everyone that's locked in. This is a late one. I don't usually do ones this late, but of course, because of the game, because of Ramadan, etc., I have to. I kind of have to, because I feel like we got a bit to talk about. I mean, I'm gonna be real, guys. I don't think. Firstly, be sure to hit the like button, guys. Be sure to subscribe. I don't think this performance is anything out of the ordinary in terms of the way that this season has panned out. I honestly do not feel like it's been out of the ordinary. I feel like this performance today, in particular, I mean, the result is very flattering. I think you look at the scoreline; it's a very flattering scoreline, but nowhere near did United really even compete in that game. We were on the back foot pretty much the entire time. Pretty much the entire time. Big up to Riri with the big super chat. Says salam, minna salam. I hope you're doing well, man. Says last 10 days incoming, bless up. You know what it is, man. Last 10 nights of Ramadan. Be sure to make the most of it for those of you who are observing this blessed month. I can't believe it's already the last 10 nights. Like, it's absolutely flown by. Ramadan this year has gone so quickly. Like, I can't describe it. It was day one. Like, to me, it felt like it was day one like 2 days ago, and now we're entering the 21st night. I don't know where the time has gone, but may Allah allow us to see many, many more Ramadans to come after this with our loved ones in good health and all of that. But if we keep watching United, guys, we might not be in good health. Big up to Riri for the super chat. I appreciate it all the time. Listen, I'm going to be so honest, guys. This performance, guys, is not something that we have not seen before. It's not a performance we've not seen this season. Like, I've been saying this time and time again when people are talking about top four. Yeah, I've been saying, let's just see how each game goes. And my biggest worry off the back of that FA Cup game was the fact that we'd come back from international break and we'd just look like a whole new team that have just met. What happened? We look like a whole new team that have just met. Like, I don't even want to single out players, because I just think overall, like across the entire line, it was just bad. It did not look good. It did not look good. Like, some of these players, whether or not the manager's here in the summer or not, yeah, whether or not Eric Ten Hag is here this summer, some of these players cannot be here. They can't. And another big worry is like, I feel like I'm jumping from topic to topic, and we're gonna touch on everything, because I'll be real, yeah. After watching the post-match comments from both managers, I get why Thomas Frank looked a bit annoyed and frustrated, because they could have had, wallahi, it could have been 4. They could have had 3. The woodwork saved United so many times. Onana made a few big saves as well. But defensively, we just looked lost and confused. Ivan Toney was having his way with whoever it was in the back line. Whoever it was, whether it was Lindelof, whether it was Lisandro Martinez, who's been clearly rushed back, because Lisandro Martinez is a player who makes us feel at ease when he's there. I did not feel at ease today when he was playing. And that's no fault to him. Honestly, I can't sit here and criticize Lisandro Martinez and say it's all his fault. But this is a guy that's been fluctuating throughout the season in terms of his performances, in terms of his injuries. And I'll be real, if there is nothing to play for, I said this months ago, I said if there's nothing to play for come season, come like April times, just leave Lisandro Martinez and let pre-season be his like return. Let him just heal, let him get better. Don't rush him back for a top 6 fight, or flipping, why are we fighting for Conference League? Why are we fighting for Conference League and all of that? Casemiro today, he scared me. His first involvement in the game, my guy just booted it. He just booted it. And this is why I say there is some underlying problems here with this team. There has to be some underlying issues with this team, because there is no way that players of talent, of technical ability, just lose all composure when they put on a United shirt. It's either the instructions they're receiving doesn't make sense to them. Like, guys, do you feel like the problem is bigger than what we actually make it out to be? Because I feel like the biggest topic of discussion is always either the managers in tactics, or it's either, you know, these players are not able to do this. These players are not capable of doing this. Maybe there's something else. Maybe there is another factor in this that we are not taking into consideration, because I just don't understand how there's players of certain technical levels or technical abilities, or, you know, as soon as they come on the pitch, it's like they lose all of that ability. Or there's players that have never been injured, suddenly just getting injured all the time, or there's instructions being given and players are not following it, or they're choosing not to follow it, or they're choosing to do something else? Are they receiving conflicting instructions from the coaching staff and the manager? Are they being told one thing by the coaches and one thing by the manager? Like, I honestly say that I cannot put my finger on it. And Paramount says it here, said Marcel said the players look tired. I've been saying since August that the players look tired. And people have been saying, Marcel, and I'm going to call him out on him. When I have him on here, I'm going to tell him answer for your crimes. Because I've been saying that the players have been looking tired from September, bro. September. Arsenal, September, I've been saying this team look tired. They look fatigued. They look lethargic. Every single game, they're looking like they've just played 90 minutes just before this. We've come back from an international break. Some of these players have even been released early from their national team. They've been released early from their national team. You know what, yeah? I think the intensity that Erik ten Hag wants to play with and the level of, running and pressing and all of that kind of stuff, I think that kind of level of football that he wants to play, I think, in my personal opinion, and I say this all the time, there's a game for that. There's a situation for that. If the game or the opponent doesn't allow you to play in that way, then alter the way that we're going to play. Don't persist and be consistent trying to push the way that one style of play that you want to play when it's clearly not working. I think also that midfield, Scott McTominay, Kobbie Mainoo, Bruno Fernandes, is never going to work. It's never going to work. And that's no criticism to Bruno. That's no criticism to Scott. And that's no criticism to to Mainoo. But it's more so about, the player profiles and their inability to play together. Or, for example, Kobbie playing in the 6. I say this all the time. I don't think Kobbie's a 6. And in games, like just in general in the Premier League, I don't know if you lot realize, but opponents always seem to, they know how to get to United. It's just by pressing. United panic a little bit when they're pressed. Kobbie should not be the deepest midfielder in that situation, not in my opinion. There was a 2-on-2 today. Don't know if you lot saw it, but it was a 2-on-2 where they just Brentford made a stupid decision. United caught life. It was still 0-0 at this point. I think it was around I'm going to say maybe around the 60th minute. But there was a 2-on-2 break. Yeah. Wallahi, it could have easily been 4-on-2 Manchester United. 4 Man United players could have easily have gotten back. 2 Man United players could have easily gotten back to make it a 4-on-2. Yeah. Kobbie looked like he was fighting every part of his body, like he was dragging his feet to try and get back. He looked tired. He looked exhausted. I can't remember. I think it was Dallo maybe that was running back. I can't remember who the other person was running back, but they just looked tired. Like they fully, like stuck in the mud settings where you can't get back. You cannot get back. Like it's very unfortunate, but that is solely down. I'm not going to say to fitness. I'm not going to say it's these players are unfit, because I don't think they're unfit. I think they are just not made for the way that the manager wants to play, and the way that the manager wants to play is not sustainable in the Premier League, especially when opponents have you figured out from day dot. Listen, last year Man United went to Brentford and got walloped 4-0. Yeah, this year could have easily been the same. It could have easily been the same had the woodwork not saved United a couple of times. Had Onana not made a fuse. Had VAR not got involved, it could have been a lot worse. Now look at that performance last year and look at the performance this year. And let's be honest, yeah, United did create a few chances. There were 1 or 2 chances. I think Højlund had a chance. He had to put that away. But let's be honest, yeah. Let's be honest, guys. Last year's performance, this year's performance. What is the difference? Bar the scoreline. 1-1 is a very flattering scoreline to Manchester United. I mean, Thomas Frank even said it. Ivan Toney even said it. They were like, I don't know how we didn't score more. And you know what Erik ten Hag said? I shouldn't do this to myself because it kind of frustrates me a lot more. Thomas Frank said after the game, exact words, we had the most shots ever in the Premier League. How we didn't win is incredible. Erik ten Hag says, Brentford wanted it more the entire game. Do you know how embarrassing, yeah, Erik ten Hag must feel? Like, honestly, how embarrassed must Erik ten Hag feel to say that the opponent wanted it more? That is a bad standard to have. And I'm not saying this is, by the way, guys, I'm not sitting here solely saying this is, what's it called? I am not saying this is solely Erik ten Hag, by the way. But he's probably thinking, what more can I do to get out of these players? He went on to say, I think Man United were lucky to get a point, but if you are winning, then you shouldn't give it away. Now, what is this issue that United have with scoring a goal and conceding straight after? Like, United tend to have that problem a lot. United tend to have that problem a lot, and it's a lot more evident this season. I mean, there's just holes everywhere in the starting 11. There is holes everywhere in this not even the starting 11, just in the squad. Just in the squad in general. In general, there's just so many. Like, I look at this team, guys. I said this, I think it was a couple of weeks ago. I said, I'm ready, man. 19th May. 19th of May couldn't come fast enough. It could not come. I cannot wait 19th May to see the back of the season. And I've been saying this or stuff like I've been saying this since October. I want to see that. Wake me up when the season ends, because there is no time in the season that I have ever felt better. There's no time that I've ever felt reassured after a result. Most of the time, United get 3 points. We're just like, oh, we grinded it out. We got 3 points. That's all that. There's been no performance, that has been very, very convincing in the Premier League. And we are 29 games in. Do you know how ridiculous that is? And if anybody says to me Liverpool at Anfield was our best performance in the Premier League, the bar is on the flipping ground. The bar is it's not even on the ground, bro. It's in hell. The bar is in hell. Because how was a draw at Anfield, where we put 11 men behind the ball, our best Premier League performance? Just because we got a point at Anfield. And maybe that point might actually go on to be the difference between Liverpool winning the league or not. I don't know. But if you just let me put that question out to everyone. Somebody give me 3 games, and even 3 games is being nice. Anyone give me 3 games in the Premier League that has looked good, that United have had a great performance. Because last year I could point out some 1 or 2 games. This year I cannot even think. I can't think of anything. I can't think of any game this year in the Premier League that I was like, wow, this has been an amazing. And don't give me no 20 minutes here, 30 minutes of this game we were good, 30 minutes of this. Don't give me none of that. Please don't give me none of that. Big up to everyone. Be sure to hit the like button. Let me see what the chat is saying. Big up to Julian. Says, I mentioned the shots on goal a few weeks back. The fact that it's an issue, it's only Sheffield that conceded more, and I was called toxic. The writing was on the wall since last season. You know what? I'm not going to lie, guys. Sometimes when I hear this stat about the whole shots on goal thing, when you look at it in comparison to how many shots were on target, I get why some people might not want to look at it as a worrying stat. For me, the stat itself is more telling to the problems in the tactical side of United. I mean, we are allowing teams to have possession. We are allowing that by having 30 shots on goal. These shots ain't coming from the halfway line. These shots are coming in United's final third. They are coming from within United's box, which means you are allowing opponents to get into threatening positions. If you are allowing 31 shots, say, that means hypothetically, this is just hypothetical. If you're allowing 31 shots, that means you've allowed 31 opportunities of them to get into threatening positions or a position where they can create something. That's not good. That's not good. Whether the shot is blocked or it's, skied over or whatever, that is neither here or there. But the root of those shots, I kind of signal to me a bigger problem, and that's United's set up out of possession. That's United's inability to break down the opponent. That's United's maybe sloppiness in possession, where they're caught on a counter and the opponent hits them for a counter and gets a shot on goal, might be skied, might hit the bar, might go into the crowd, or it might go into the back of the net. That is what that tells me when teams have so many shots on goal. And I think United have the average. I think the average United are second in the league for shots on goal by an opponent, and that is worrying because yes, maybe 60% of those shots are off target, or maybe 70%. But why are you allowing an opponent to get into a position 30 times to have an opportunity on goal? That's more so my question. That's the questions that I have when it comes to the shots, the shot stat and all of that stuff. I know some people, they say is kind of like it's pointless. I don't think it's a pointless stat. I think it's a stat that leads to more stats. It's a stat that leads to more stats. And guys, I'm not kidding, man. 9 games to go. Well, 9 games to go, and then I could just have my life back. I can just have my life back and normality can return. Like imagine I know I'm gonna regret this come June where I'm bored and I have nothing to do and all of that stuff. But honestly, I watch games. Yeah, I watched the game. I watched the West Ham versus Newcastle today. Yeah, both teams fighting. Well, United couldn't show 50% of that. United could not show 50% of that, and even like some of the changes in the game today, I was just like, it's very unfortunate. I can't lie, because Varane gets injured, Maguire comes on, Lindelof gets injured, Martinez comes on, who's just himself coming back from injury, Casemiro coming on, and just honestly looks clueless. And this is why I'm saying, what is going on at United, where players who are the most experienced, the most technical, some very talented players are coming in and they look clueless. They look confused. Even when it comes to the wingers figs, like Garnacho, Rashford, etc., they are half-hearted in a lot of stuff when it comes. Some of them are half-hearted in what they do when it comes to the opponent in possession. I think they genuinely don't know what to do. And this is why I'm saying, what instructions are they receiving from the touchline? Are they receiving one information from the coach and another thing from the manager? Because sometimes I saw, I think it was Garnacho, I think it was, or Anthony, I can't remember. It was whoever was on the right wing. I think it was Anthony getting shouted at. He was literally getting shouted at, bollocked by Eric Ten Hag. And for me, it's like, are these players consciously making the decision to do the opposite of what they're told to do? Because in that case, ship them out. But then Anthony, that's Ten Hag's guy. Ten Hag brought him in. I actually look at this season and just in general and think, how does it get better? Because the way that I see it, guys, is you can't have your cake and eat it too. There's no way I see half of these players being sold in the summer. On top of that, Eric Ten Hag leaving. So if it's a case of either the manager stays and the players leave, or the players leave and the manager stays, I think it's going to be one or the other. I don't think it's going to be both. I look at this team in particular, like, for example, today's starting 11. A few of them players I don't want to see next season. A few of them, I don't even want to see them in a United shirt. Lindelof, I don't want to see him in a United shirt next season. Honestly. And that's no kind of disrespect to him, but you know what? I looked at today and we had Maguire, Lindelof, Dalot, Wan-Bissaka. Yeah? We've spent 450 million, near enough to 450 million. Yeah? And yet we're still playing with the backline that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer left us. The same backline that Ole left. Onana's the only difference, David De Gea, Onana. But the back four is still the same. How can we be on a new cycle of a manager? How many years later? 3 years later, and those four players are still the option. Like, no disrespect to Dalot. I shouldn't actually put Dalot in this. And Maguire is one of them players. Well, he's eventually gonna leave, whether he leaves this season, or whether he leaves next season. Yeah, whether he leaves this summer, or whether he leaves on a free the following summer. I think Maguire's gonna leave inevitably. But United opted to give Lindelof a 1-year extension rather than Varane. Like, I don't understand that. I don't understand that. Now people are gonna say, "Oh, Varane, can't stay fit," blah 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 blah. But he's with his eyes closed, he's better than Lindelof. No disrespect to Lindelof. Big up to Aki, been a member for 4 months. Big up says, we barely survived today. Our away form is shocking. Lucky to come out with a draw. Eric Ten Hag out still for me. Be sure to hit the like button. Big up to Aki with that. Been a member for 4 months. If you want to join the membership club, you can, guys. It's the pin comment in the chat. You get your badges, you get your emojis, you get your custom member content. Of course, you get to support the growth of the channel. I know I've been slacking with my streams this week, but I'm not gonna lie, guys. I'm gonna be so honest here. The fatigue in Ramadan is serious. Like, so sometimes I gotta put me first in it and I can't stream because I'm just tired. So I apologize. But inshallah, we're gonna be consistent in the coming weeks, and especially with all the games back and Champions League coming back, more watch-alongs, all of that kind of stuff. So be sure to hit the like button, and like I said, you can join the membership club. It's the pinned comment in the chat. You get your badges, you get your emojis, and you get your custom member content. You can send in super chats to have your comment read out. If you've got any comments or any questions, you can send in super chats, and you can subscribe. Simple as that. You can subscribe. Simple as that. But back to the main topic. The thing is, I don't normally, after a game, I like to read I like to read the post-match comments, from whatever player's been interviewed or, the managers. I don't even want to see what Erik ten Hag has to say. Like, honestly, I don't even want to see what Erik ten Hag has to say, because I don't think there's any way to kind of justify this. But there's actually some comments from his post-match press conference, so I'm gonna read them, of course. He was asked about if he's concerned about the number of shots that he's faced. Who asked him this question? Mark Critchley from The Athletic did. Excuse me. And he said, as long as we get the results, no. We lost many second balls, and then you have to defend the box. That's what we did quite well, and we had a great goalkeeper. We concede shots, but we don't concede many goals. I mean, he has a point. He has a point in what he's saying. Let's read that back one more time. He said, as long as we get results, no, we lost many second balls, and then you have to defend the box. That's what we did quite well, and we had a great goalkeeper. We concede shots, but we don't concede many goals. What I don't understand is, why would you allow yourself to be in a position where you lose many second balls? That's what I don't understand. Why would you allow yourself to be in that position? Because I don't feel like United look to dominate games. Like, I'm not being funny, guys, but watching United, you're meant to watch United and feel comfortable that United will dominate the game, dominate possession, walk away with the 3 points. But it seems like from this comment that Erik ten Hag is alluding to the idea that, well, we might concede shots, but it's not resulting in goals, and that's all that matters. That is true. But why are you allowing yourself to be in that position to concede those shots? Because you've just admitted it. You've just admitted we lose many second balls that lead to this. We lose many second balls. Why are you losing second balls? Why are you losing those? Why are you losing your duels? That's what I don't understand. Why are you okay with that? Or why are you happy with that? Because it's not leading to goals, it's just leading to shots. Because you've got a good goalkeeper. Okay, cool. You got a good goalkeeper. Okay, cool. But that goalkeeper has one little brain cell in his head that might just lead to it might just lead to him making some very unusual decisions. He's very capable of that. He's been playing well, so no disrespect to Andre Onana. But I just don't understand how, and this is why I feel like, in particular this season, Erik ten Hag is just trying to see the games out. Because he said, as long as we get results, no. He doesn't care what happens in the game, as long as United are getting the 3 points, or they're getting a point. As long as they ain't dropping points, losing, he don't care. Because this season is literally just this, when you just have to grind it out and just see it out. That is what this season is. That is what this season is for Erik ten Hag. Excuse me. And for me, that's a low standard to have. And I get it. I get it. Injuries have not been, injuries ain't been nice to Man United this season. But United just came back from an international break where some of these players barely played on their international break. Some of them didn't even go. And the ones who did got the opportunity to come back. So why do they look so exhausted? Why do they look like they're running around? 20 minutes into the game, they're looking like they've been running for the last 75 minutes. The fatigue is evident. The fatigue is very, very evident. The fitness, I can't say it's fitness. That's the thing. I can't kind of put it down to fitness. Big up to Julian, been a member for 3 months. Big up, Julian says that Woodwork was man of the match, and Erik ten Hag is happy with that. The bar is in hell. Wallahi, the bar is in hell, because there is no way you can look at that performance today, look at United conceding 25 plus shots on goal every game for the last how long, and be like, well, we're getting the result, so it doesn't matter. You can't do that. Reality is that at United, every manager has to get results. No manager will get time to implement what they actually want, lose 2 games, and fan base want them sacked. That is true. That is true. And that's the thing. That's why I said Erik ten Hag is just trying to grind out results. He's trying to get to the finish line by dragging his team there. He doesn't he doesn't care who he batters and beats up in the process of dragging them to the finish line. He just needs to get them to the finish line of the season. And then it can be reevaluated and reassessed. I've said this time and time again. Personally, I don't think, and I said this months ago, I don't think Erik ten Hag staying in the summer depends on where United finish this season. I don't even want to hear top 4 talk. I don't even want to hear anything about top 4. I don't want to hear that. But I don't think, Erik ten Hag will stay this season solely based on results. I think Ineos will maybe be looking at the way that United are playing, and it's not very attractive. It's not very convincing. There's not been any sort of convincing performance, bar maybe Liverpool, where it was just like a flipping basketball match. There's been nothing convincing of recent or throughout the entire flipping season. So I genuinely don't see, the only way I see Erik ten Hag staying, and I'll be very honest, the only way that I see Erik ten Hag staying is if they fully believe in what he's trying to build. And if they look at this season and think this is just a hiccup, you know, it's just that bad season to kind of get us through to hopefully the glory days. Because, and the reason why I say that is because if Erik ten Hag stays next year, the year on, so on and so forth, I know his contract finishes next year, but if he stays on in the future, he'd already have 2 years of experience of what works and what doesn't work. Whereas if a new manager comes in, next season is fresh slate, it's starting all over. And Ineos might look at it like that. I don't agree that I don't think that should be done like that. But I also feel like Erik ten Hag has kind of pulled the short straw this season when it comes to a number of situations. But I say this time and time again, especially, you know, off the back of this season, if there is games where you cannot play the way you want to play, and I think Erik ten Hag is very adamant that he's going to play the way he reportedly wants to play, whatever style that is. But if there are games where the opponent doesn't allow you to do that, and like I said, opponents have United sussed out from the jump. From within 5-10 minutes, opponents have United sussed out. They double up on the press on the fullbacks. They force Onana to go long. You know, physicality. Their centre-backs come with the physicality against Rasmus Højlund. Their fullbacks tuck in. There is overload the midfield. Pass through the lanes. It's very obvious what opponents are going to do. Like, I can go into a game, against Fulham, and I know what Fulham's going to do. I know Marco Silva. I know what he's going to do. And whatever Erik ten Hag does to counter that, which will be very unlikely because tactical changes don't really occur that much in Premier League games with Erik ten Hag, but whatever change he might do will get countered immediately. That will get countered immediately. Now, I'm not going to lie. The idea of Erik ten Hag leaving, you know, and then you look at the other available options, or you hear the names that United are linked to. I'm hearing Southgate. I'm hearing Potter. I mean, Nagelsmann is apparently going back to Bayern Munich. Xabi Alonso is staying at Bayer Leverkusen. Amarim apparently is going to Liverpool. So who's going to be on the market? If Amarim is not on the market, if Xabi Alonso is not on the market, Nagelsmann is not on the market, I really do think it's going to be a Robert De Zerbi or Graham Potter summer, guys. Like, I'm not saying I want them, but I think it's going to be a two-man race between them two. Like, I actually think it's going to be them two. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I've heard it so much. Like, before Ineos even came in, like, before Ineos even brought in Ahmad Barada, we were already hearing talks about Graham Potter and Robert De Zerbi. A lot of the other names are just more recent names. Southgate, Amarim, all of them guys, Thomas Frank. If that was Thomas Frank's audition today for Man United, well, he might have the job. He might have the job. But I do think if Ten Hag does get sacked or he walks, it's going to be one or the other. He's going to either get sacked or walk, obviously, if he's not in the job. But I think he's more likely to walk if he doesn't get what he wants. Because, you know, it's been reported that Ineos want, you know, they just want someone to coach. And everything else is down to you know, their employees, you know, the recruitment side, the transfers, all of that kind of stuff. If Ten Hag doesn't want to have a part of that and he wants to kind of be involved and kind of have his fingers in different pies, then I do really think that Erik ten Hag will walk. I do think he will walk. Now, I've seen people saying, oh, if he wins the FA Cup, give him another season. Do you think United care? They sacked Louis van Gaal before. Like, Louis van Gaal knew he was getting sacked FA Cup final day. He knew he was getting sacked regardless of the result, and he still gave it 100%. he knew Mourinho was coming in. I can't remember where I read it. I think it was an article I read about the day that he basically was getting sacked and how he called people in one by one to his office because he knew he was getting sacked before the FA Cup final. And he, like, Wayne Rooney was one of them. I think Rooney spoke about it in his documentary. And they were hearing talks about Mourinho and all of that kind of stuff. And he couldn't celebrate the FA Cup win. Van Gaal couldn't celebrate it because he knew he was getting sacked the next day. Like, he knew Monday he was going into work and he was getting sacked. But if that happened to Louis van Gaal, I'm sorry, but unfortunately, I don't think Erik ten Hag will stand a chance. I don't think he will. But I don't want to... This is a question to everyone. Just say yes or no. Do you think today's performance is on Erik ten Hag? Do you think... Because when I hear his post-match comments and I see what he says, and I see what he says about, you know, not being bothered about, you know, the shots that United face because they're losing second chances and duels and all of that kind of stuff. They're losing many second balls. For me, it's like, how are you openly admitting to losing out on many second balls? What are you saying to your players that you are that you're okay with that happening? That is lazy. I think that's... I can't lie. I think that's lazy. I need to stop shouting, by the way, because it's nearly midnight and my neighbors are... Sorry, guys. But I really think that is lazy management. I'm not saying he's a lazy manager. I'm saying it's lazy management to say that you're not concerned about the number of shots we face because you know that we lose out on a lot of second chances or second balls. What are you telling your players? That they are okay with not putting 100% into a second chance? What are you telling them? Because I always hear the topic of, you know, turnovers. I think turnovers is what I hear the most when people talk about the way that Ten Hag wants to play. But United are trying to force turnovers at the expense of leaving a lot of space vacated. And this season, I think, like, it's no secret it's no secret this season what the biggest issue has been. And that's been the midfield. And it's no surprise that when United do lose or United have bad performances, it's up against opponents that have control of the midfield. 9 times out of 10, I think maybe Chelsea at Old Trafford was the only game that United really overloaded the midfield, because even Chelsea's midfield don't know what to do. Like, it's basically two clowns going up against each other, because Chelsea's midfield don't know what the hell to do. United's midfield don't know what the hell to do. So it's really like Dumb and Dumber kind of settings, you know? And that's why, when are we playing them? 4th of April. I think we're playing... Oh my God, we're playing them midweek. I just realized we're playing them on Thursday. That's long. That's long. Julian says it's not only Erik ten Hag, but remember I keep referencing the We Talk Alex guys. They said it. He has no plan B. When he's being outclassed by other managers' tactics, he never responds. Facts. Like, we've been saying this. And you know what's crazy, guys? There's a video on United View Clips. If you guys want to go watch it, let me find it. United View Clips. This was after Spurs or Wolves. I think this was after Spurs or Wolves. And I criticised Erik ten Hag. And I remember I was getting cussed. I was getting cussed. And I was questioning Erik ten Hag. And I can't remember who it was. Someone was like to me, you shouldn't question Erik ten Hag, blah, blah, blah. Like, he knows what he's doing. This was Spurs. This was second game of the season. And it just came up on my page the other day, and I saw it and I started laughing because I look back. August, I was a lot more optimistic. I thought, nah, this is just, you know, Wolves. Okay, we just about beat it. You know, we just about beat them. Spurs, we lost. Okay, don't worry, man. We're gonna figure it out. We never figured it out. I wish I could go back into the past and tell past me that we were not gonna figure it out. In this era, managers can't give hairdryers when players perform badly, as they go crying to their agent and take 3-month mental health breaks like Sancho. I don't see nothing wrong with taking a mental health break. But crying to their agent, their PR team, all of that kind of stuff, yeah, unfortunately, it's the times that we live in, isn't it? Looks like he lost the dressing room. Big Up Lincoln Lawyer says he's accepted he can't coach these lot. That is true. Maybe that is it. Maybe he's accepted that he can't really coach everybody. Why no Ericsson on after his good performance? Why all season no Ahmad? Why never bench Bruno? Too many questions for me on Eric Ten Hag. I mean, there's so many questions. I feel like Eric Ten Hag does rely a lot on like having Bruno in the team. I think it's very evident. Bruno's the only player that doesn't get dropped. And you know what, guys? I got a bit of a love-hate relationship with Bruno. I hate that about myself, but I have a bit of a love-hate relationship. Like 1 minute I hate Bruno, next minute I love him. And I feel like this season he looks bad and everybody else looks bad. I think I can have a better judgment on Bruno if United were playing good. But, and I know some people might not agree with me, I don't think he's solely the problem in the team. Like he's not the main issue in the team. I think the biggest issue with this team is the way that they are set up. The way that they're set up tactically. The instructions are an issue. Like these are issues. These are the issues. I can't sit here and be like, this is Bruno's fault we played like this today. That would be ridiculous if I sat here and said that. It would be ridiculous if I sat here and said it's Garnacho's fault or it's Rashford's fault. They all played poorly. They all played bad. But I can't sit here and be like, it's their fault. Because it's the way that they are being set up. Like, honestly, I think if we were to get to try and get to the root of the issue, if we were to try and get to the root of the issue of Manchester United in terms of performances, number one, the first biggest problem is the way that they're set up. Every game, United are set up the same. I mean, what I don't understand is Wan-Bissaka on the left-hand side worked against Liverpool, against Mohamed Salah. Why is he playing there again? He was so poor defensively today, but positionally. And I've said this time and time again. I've said that this is a flaw of his, and that's why defensively, he's a good defender. 1v1, he's a good defender. But positionally, his defending is very bad. And he gets into poor places in terms of, his defensive position. I think it was him keeping everyone on side. What I don't get is why you can't. Dallo is the more natural left back out of the two of them. Yeah, Dallo is the more natural one. Play Dallo at left back. Keep Wan-Bissaka at right back. I don't see the need, just because it worked against Liverpool, to persist with that. Today, I felt like Brentford. Like, I'll be real, guys. I said this at the beginning of the stream. I feel like Brentford could have walked away with way more goals. But the woodwork saved United quite a few times. Like I was watching the game with my family. Half of them are United haters and then half of them are United fans. And every time we were just like, oh, one person hits the post. Ivan Toney, this has a chance. Like, it was ridiculous. It was actually ridiculous. And I look now, I guess, to the future games. Bro, I just want to see the back of the season. Like, wallahi, I just want to see the back of the season. Big Up Tolumba says, it's a collective. It's like a perfect puzzle of horrible pieces. They all fit in and play their part. Absolutely. It is a collective issue with United this season. It's absolutely a collective issue. And how does it get better? The only way, in my opinion, it gets better is the season ends. Wallahi, that's the only way I see things getting better, is that the season ends. I don't want to hear none of this talk, please, about top 4. I've said this time and time again. I was being called negative. Do you guys remember? If you remember on the Full View back in like January times, I was being told I'm negative and I'm jumping on the bandwagon and I don't have my own opinion. And I shouldn't be saying, I shouldn't be turning against the manager. I was being told in February, denounce your position. Take what you said back. United are getting top 4. And I was just saying, just let's see how each game gets better. That's all I was saying. I remember that day, I literally said, I don't see what the manager's building, but I'm giving it every game. If things improve, like, I don't care about you. I care about results, but I care about performances when the results are not going our way. Today, if United were playing against Brentford and we were the unlucky ones, I would not have been upset and annoyed and irritated. If we were in Brentford's position today and United had 31 shots and United hit the woodwork, they hit the bar, they hit this, the keeper was making good saves, and United somehow walk away with 1 point, I would have been annoyed as hell. But I would have been like, you know what, United actually We should have won. We should have won. It would have been one of them ones, you know, where you'd be annoyed and then you're like, oh, it is what it is. Yeah, it is, you know, on to the next. But that's not the case. And that hasn't been the case. Even in February, when United were getting results, they were not impressive results. They were not impressive performances. Luton, flipping Wolves, and then losing to Fulham. I remember, wallahi, I was being gaslit. I swear, I remember. I need to go find the stream, which United view, full view. I'm talking about, because I was being gaslit and I was ganged up on. But he who last laughs, last laugh, last laugh, last. Now everybody go chat breakfast. Astaghfirullah. No, but he who last laugh, last laugh. Whatever the hell that means. That I don't. Am I even making sense? Maybe it's getting too late and I need to go to bed, because I actually think I'm not making sense. What is that saying again? He who laughs. Okay, so apparently it's he who laughs laughs longest, or he who laughs loudest. I don't know. I've never heard that one. But yeah, like I said, he who laughs last. Simple as that. Simple as that. Europa, here we come, Mina. Absolutely. Like, it's actually unfortunate. And you know what, guys? I actually think Ten Hag is a creator of his own misfortunes because of last season. Like last season, I guess I really do think last season has played a part in not the downfall this season, but the expectations this season. Like honestly, I think, and that's why I feel like United overachieved last year. And I said that time like multiple times. I said that United overachieved last season, but Erik Ten Hag, for the first couple months, introduced United to a standard that was not maintainable. It was not maintainable. I mean, now we're in, what are we? It's 30th. Oh my God, the clocks are going to go back. Guys, the clocks are going to go back. If you're in the UK, the clocks are going back tonight. Wait. Yeah, the clocks are going to... British summertime, we are here. Yes, it means the days get longer. The sun is going to be shining. I know you lot are probably thinking, what going forward? Yeah, sorry, it's going forward, not back. My bad. We're getting an extra hour in it. So when it gets to 1 a.m. in the UK, it's going to jump to 2 a.m. The days are going to get longer. That means our fasting hours for the last couple of last 10 days of Ramadan will get longer, but it's at the expense of longer days. The sun is going to be shining soon. Summer is on its way. Guys, if you don't know what SAD is, seasonal something, depression. You know, in the wintertime, everyone's just miserable. Everyone's just down. The football is not helping. Yeah. Doesn't help at all. But the times are going to change soon, which means the days are going to get... Summer's coming, guys. Summer's coming. What does that mean for me here in NY when you stream? I think the time difference is going to change. I think it's going to... an extra hour will be added to it. So if the time difference is 5 hours now, I think it's going to be 6, if I'm not wrong. Because I think that, yeah. And then in the winter, when the times go back, it goes back to 5 hours. I can't wait. Heatwave incoming. I hate summertime. Can't wait till October. Show is one of those people that are losers. Because how do you like the winter? Like, how the summer is the best. Like, honestly, guys, I'm not being funny, but I know. Listen, this is how you know United in the mud, because I'm here talking about the weather. Like, I'm a flipping weather woman. Like, I'm sitting here talking about the weather. Like, we ain't got better things to talk about. But honestly, guys, summer for me, like the vibe in the summer, like I wake up in the morning. You know, in the cartoons, when people in cartoons they jump out of bed and they stretch like this. That is me in the summer. I wake up at 7 a.m. and I stretch and I open my curtains. I'm ready to take on the day because the sun is shining. If the sun is shining, I'm in a good mood automatically. Unless, now there's some conditions here, yeah, but the heat waves lately in the UK has been whooping our ass because we've been having 40 degrees. Do you not remember? I think it was 2 summers ago. It was 40 degrees. It was so hot. It was so hot. And obviously in the UK, if you live in the UK, you know that houses here are not built for heat. They are built to retain heat because it's a cold country. Yeah. So in the summer, when your house gets hot, your house is retaining the heat. I swear, we were going to supermarkets to buy like air cons and fans, and that everywhere was sold out. Everywhere was sold out. I remember my niece was born in the middle of a heat wave. Yeah. My niece was born in the middle of a heat wave. And my family, we were scrambling trying to get fans because it was just so hot. But honestly, guys, back to the topic. Big up to Kadeem says, I really hate football. You know it's bad when an Everton fan is saying this. You know it's bad when, I was talking about Everton today with my cousin-in-law. I was talking about the Everton's issue. And I was saying that I really see Everton going down the same path as like Portsmouth, Reading, etc. It's very unfortunate. But for some reason, I see that happening to them. Whether it's this year or next year, I see Everton getting relegated. And I don't see them in a situation where they come back up. I do not see Everton coming back up if they get relegated. And I'll be real, like for the football heritage in terms of their contributions to the Premier League being, they're part of a record list of players, the teams that have never been relegated. I don't want them to get relegated. I don't. But I see them getting relegated and never coming back. Like I actually see that happening to them. And I hope that doesn't happen because they got a few players that I actually like. But if they do get relegated, I'm sure that means Brentford and Onana will definitely leave. I think that is guaranteed. People like Calvert Lewin, I don't know if he would leave. Pickford, I don't know if Pickford would leave. He gives me Everton through and through. I'm not gonna lie, he gives me Everton through and through. But anyway, back to the topic before I wrap up this stream. Vibe along tomorrow morning, guys. Vibe along tomorrow morning. Manchester United women versus Everton. Funnily enough, I think it's an early kickoff. It's a 12 p.m. kickoff here in the UK. So I'll be doing a vibe along for that. So turn on your post notifications. Listen, should we even do a 5 things we learn or 3 things we learn after the game? I don't even think it's. Every game is pretty much the same shit that we learn. Excuse my language, but it's the same stuff. I think it's safe to say that we learn the same stuff every single time. When are United playing again? We are playing again on Thursday. I will get Marcel back on the channel because bro's got he has some criminal comments to answer for. Like I should actually sit here. I should get, the judge hats, the wigs, the judge wigs, sit here, and it should be the court of Mina because he's actually got some cases. He's got some really hot takes to answer for. So I would definitely get him back sometime this week. Of course, we've got Chelsea content. We're going to have content throughout the entire week. I promise that. It's very exciting, guys. On Tuesday, is it Tuesday? Yeah. On Tuesday, I have been invited to a media day with the England Lionesses. So I get to watch an open training session. And then I get to speak to some players. So you lot know a vlog is coming. You know a vlog is coming. You know some TikToks are coming. You know some Instagram reels, shorts, all of that stuff are coming. If there's any players in particular that you lot think that I should try and talk to, I'm going to try talk to them. But it'll be fun. It's going to be really, really fun to watch an open training session, talk to some players, all of that kind of stuff, and get to see St. George's Park. Like, I'm really, really looking forward to that because I just always see it from the outside. So I'm looking forward to seeing what it's like being there and actually watching a training session. But big up to everyone. Be sure to hit the like button, guys. Be sure to subscribe. It's getting late, man. It's nearly midnight here. I'm going to wrap it up. If you lot are still fasting, I wish you all the best for the rest of your fast. If you've already broken your fast and you're getting ready to eat again to start your next fast, I wish you a good fast tomorrow. Big up to everyone. Be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe. I'll be back tomorrow midday, 12 p.m. Man United versus Everton women. I might do a watch along for the Arsenal City game. Maybe, man. I'm out. Peace.